And welcome to the Bank of the West Husker Basketball Show. Nebraska in the midst of a killer stretch of games. 3 straight ranked teams, and you've clipped off 2 of them already.
Well, 3 straight top 10 games, and first 2 on the road. You know, obviously that win against Creighton was huge for our program, huge for our guys, great for confidence. And then you follow that up on a very short turnaround and have to go to Indiana without your leader on the court with Griesel, who had an illness. And, you know, it's got to be something serious for Sam Griesel to be held off the floor, just as big of a warrior as he is. But we've got something running through the team right now. Several of the guys had it, several staff members have it going on, but his just really hit him hard that day, and then he unfortunately progressively got worse as the day went on. So hopefully get it behind us and, you know, go out and continue to compete. You know, even though we didn't have Sam, after that initial stretch, I really thought we competed. In the second half, we did a lot of good things in that game, but, you know, that's a tough team with a lot of length. And unfortunately, their shooters that had not been making shots, knocked down shots against us pretty much all night long.
We're going to start, though, with a game up in Omaha last weekend. The Huskers' first win at Creighton since the late 1990s. We're back to check out action in the first half next. Welcome back to the Bank of the West Husker Basketball Show. Nebraska played at Creighton, the yearly matchup with the Blue Jays. This year up at the CHI Center. Great crowd. But you kind of took them out of it from the get-go.
Yeah, I loved the way we came out of the gate, and we knew we had to get off to a good start. This team is very high-powered, obviously. Great single-side action right there. Derek getting behind the big on the roll, and he just was unbelievable all night long. We felt that would be our advantage. You see how Derek gets into the body, lowers that shoulder, knocks him off balance. You can't go over Kalkbrenner. You have to go through him, and I thought he did a good job with that. Good attack right here with Emmanuel. One thing we talked a lot about in this game was really trying to dictate tempo. If we had opportunity to attack in transition, we would take it, but if not, we really wanted to slow it down and execute in the half court. I thought we had great spirited contests, even though Alexander made that one. I thought that was very important with how we played. Right here, you know, just with you know, them warring and running through, but a great chase down block by Wilhelm. Thought he had some really key plays, a 3 in the second half, which was huge. But I thought our hand activity, good job right here, really rotated well. And, you know, even though we shot it still, that's what we want. We want a spirited contest. The game plan in this was really take away their paint touches and paint points. They got a couple early, but I really thought we did a good job with that and outscored them by 30 in the paint.
Seen a heavy dose of Derek, and he just took it to the Big East Defensive Player of the Year for last year.
Yeah, and again, we knew they would take away our shooting, and Derek had to make plays for us, and he just continued to do that. You see the impact with Derek on the floor. He did the same thing against Florida State in his second game back, and you know, just was really effective all night long.
You held them to 25% shooting in the first half.
Yeah, again, that was going to be a big key. And when Derek picked up that second foul, we really kind of took the air out of the ball and wanted to slow things down. And our guys executed that very well. And, you know, even though we didn't shoot it great in the first half, we were still able to go into the break with a lead.
There's a deep 3 by Sam.
Yeah, good to see him knocking down shots. He's got to take them. He's got to shoot them. Juwan loved this little rip going catch right there, getting to the basket. He's doing a much better job playing much more efficient basketball right now.
You're up 3 here, getting to the late stages of this first half. And I think it was probably important mentally, wasn't it, to go into halftime with the lead in this game?
Yeah, I think so. Again, that's a good job right there, even though the kid made a nice shot, you know, forcing him into a second play off the bounce to hit that 3. And then a good play right here by Sam to give us that halftime lead. Again, kind of a slow, methodical game. I thought Denham, you know, that was his only possession of the game, but really good defensive possession right there to preserve that lead.
So 25-23, Huskers after 20 minutes of basketball up in Omaha have the lead over Creighton in the game, and there's some of those first half numbers, 26%, 25.8 for the Blue Jays. You're at 42. You have to like being over 40%.
Yeah, you know, especially with Derek having foul trouble at the end of that half, we just had to survive it and withstand their run, and that's what we did. The thing I'm most pleased with, you can't allow Creighton to go on those big runs in that building. It's very difficult to win if that happens.
Just kept the crowd quiet for most of the game. We're back with a look at the second half action from the game last Sunday. That's coming up next. Welcome back to the Bank of the West Husker Basketball Show. So Nebraska leads Creighton at half, 25-23. And what was kind of the message at halftime and going into the second 20?
Yeah, I knew they would come out and try to establish the big guy. That's what they do a lot of times. So we found a pretty good formula right here with a single side ball screen action. You know, trying to get down to create a seam for Sam to come off. If you could get around the roll man like this, or get around the ball handler, engage the big, should be able to get Derek some opportunities to get a rim attempt. And then again, transition defense was such a huge key in this game, Greg. We really wanted to limit them, not give them anything easy coming down in transition and really all night long. I thought we executed that very well. We changed our offensive rebounding a little bit in this game and tried to get back with 3, really to try to limit them from getting going. Because once they get going downhill, they're a very tough team to stop.
What I have for Sam, this is a good play by CJ here. Sam ends up with 18 and 12 rebounds.
Yeah, 18, 12, and 7 assists. And just, we put the ball in his hands. This is a huge play by Wilhelm, stepping out, knocking down that 3, and, giving us a 2-possession lead at that time. But again, Sam is doing a really good job. And that from Wilhelm hitting that shot, and you saw Kalkbrenner had to stay a little bit higher, going back to this single side action right here. Good read on the back down by Derek to get out of there and give him space to go to work. The other guy that, just can't say enough about was Emmanuel. The job that he did on Nemhard was so important. And Nemhard's been living in the paint all year long, and I thought he did a great job. Good 2-man game here on the back cut. Same type action on the single side. And again, we got good, really good solid possessions all night long. Now they got to come and help on the double, and then again, Derek finishing over length at the rim.
He did a pretty good job getting stuff to the basket in the second half.
Yeah, we did. We were very efficient. I think we were 52% in the second half. Great cut by Jawan. He's really doing a good job right now slashing off the ball, and now you force them into a little bit of a trap, having to pick up their pressure. Good job by Sam getting past him, and I really thought we handled that in those last couple minutes, which was very important. Had a couple little turnovers at the end, but as you see us get the ball down the court, good spacing right there, for Jawan to go in and get the finish to kind of seal it off.
Jawan, 5 of 5 in this game. He quietly had 12 points in the contest.
Play the game. Yeah, I agree. Play the game right there. I thought with Derek, he just, that could have been a 5-point game with a minute and a half, and who knows what happens. But Derek stepping in there, drawing that charge was enormous. A little home run play here down the floor. Good job by CJ pulling it out, and then Jawan getting the finish, to really kind of seal it.
So Huskers get the huge road win over a top 10 team. First time since they beat an Iowa State team. In a top 10 road game. 63-53 to final. 3 players in double figures. You hold the Jays, only 34% shooting for the game, and you out-rebound a pretty good, big, tall team.
Yeah, going into this game, we'd out-rebounded, I think, every opponent except for one. And, that's been a huge reason for, having the record, the 6-3 record that we have, and obviously getting Derek back in the lineup as well has helped with that. But if we can continue to win the battle of the boards, then we're going to have a chance to win.
Oh, that was fun. 63-53 again in the final. We're back to check out the conference opener for the Big Red, a game at Indiana in the midweek. That's next. We're back on the Bank of the West Husker basketball show. So the conference opener was midweek at Bloomington Assembly Hall, and you find out shortly before the game you don't have Sam.
Yeah, obviously a huge blow coming off that game that he did, and we really put in a whole new package going into that, what we felt could be very successful against this team. And then, you take him out of the lineup and you have to completely adjust your game plan. But, listen, it is what it is. You kind of have to be ready for that at this time of year, just with different illnesses going on and injuries, and it's next man up mentality. Again, after a tough opening start, you see obviously down 15 right here early. Good to see Blaze getting a basket, but we withstood it and kept playing, kept battling, and on a couple different occasions got that thing down into single digits in the second half. So it had nothing to do with lack of competitiveness. Kept grinding, kept battling, and just with a couple breaks down the stretch, I think we could have been right there. But unfortunately, they made too many plays. It's a tough building to play in right now. They're selling it out. It's a team that's got a lot of length and a lot of toughness. And, unfortunately, we just couldn't get enough plays.
Yeah, just kind of fighting uphill all night, but never give up. And you just you kept them nervous, I think, most of the game.
Yeah, and, second half, we stepped in and took 2 back-to-back charges, and then I thought I had 2 more that, in my opinion, especially after going back and watching, that were charges again. Yep. And that's what, drives me nuts is you make a play, but because they called a couple more and the crowd starts getting into it, they don't make it. You got to call the game by the rule. And, I thought we missed when we were 7. At 7, we took 2, in my opinion, charges and could have cut that thing even lower. But, it happens. It is what it is. It's part of the game. And then they just continue to make shots. Again, that kid had made 4 threes all year and hit 4 in that game. The other kid had hit 6 all year, and he hit 5. So, you just don't expect that. 2 guys that had not been shooting well make 9 threes against us. And then a couple costly turnovers there at the end of the half that gave them that 13-point lead.
They shoot 53% in the first half. That's you got to keep them under that.
Well, and you saw a lot of those were in transition, and that's what we did such a good job of against Creighton, is limiting those transition baskets. But when you give live ball turnovers like that, pick sixes happen, and you just can't give those up to top 10 team on the road.
Huskers down 13 at the half, but they made it interesting in the second half. We're going to check out some of that action coming up next. We're back here on the Bank of the West Husker basketball show. So down 13 at the half, but you put a scare into them a couple different times and a good start to the second half.
Our movement was so much better in the second half. We did a great job getting the ball to Derek. You see the cutting, the splitting, getting downhill off their chases, and that created some good looks for our team. It was good to see CJ step up. Casey right there, he's got to rotate to the shooter. He played both, tried to get in the passing lane. You just got to play that solid right there. Jackson Davis obviously was a problem. He had a triple-double on us and made great plays. That's how it hurt us, is when they got in the pocket like that. A good cut right here again. CJ coming off of that, getting to the rim, and a really good solid finish. So again, a movement, the way we came out of the gate in the second half, if we do that in the first, which we'd been getting off to pretty good starts, it might be a completely different outcome. Here's kind of the story of the night. Again, thing hits every part of the rim and unfortunately bounces in. But, again, playing through Derek, good things happen. Good split action right there and a great cut. We just really did a good job. I thought we played very efficient. We shot 50% in the second half in that building, which is not easy to do. They're so good defensively. And again, if we need to play with this movement, need to play with this type of purpose and force all game long, and then again, just crazy end of the shot clock. Not a lot you can do about that one, but some of that is they got comfortable on us, unfortunately, and they made plays. Casey got it going here a little bit in the second half. Good little up and under, getting Jackson Davis off his feet. And again, I thought the movement, that's what got us back into this game.
If I'd have told you before the game that you would have held Trace Jackson Davis at 12, you probably would have said, we'll take that.
Yeah, well, yeah, but he made plays. We tried to double him and take him out of the scoring area. Had some good doubles, some good rotations. Again, I thought where he hurt us most was in the pocket on those pick and roll plays. That's where he was a problem, and that's where he's really improved his game, and you got to give him credit for that.
Casey did some nice things late in the game.
He did, yeah, and you see a good split action again, good screen right there. By Emmanuel, and then again we cut that thing to 12 and had a chance to get it into single digits on a couple of occasions. But again, it was just too many threes by their guys. You can't get back cut like that. It happened twice to Casey on that actual possession right there, and that just can't happen.
And Indiana, by the way, the preseason pick to win the Big Ten Conference. So a really tough opener for the Huskers, 81-65 the final score. Galloway and Bates, you can't plan on them going and getting 39.
Yeah, give them credit. Those guys stepped up and made shots when they had to. And again, I thought early in that game that we just allowed them to be too comfortable. And, we got it going. I thought we never quit. We kept playing without, arguably as important as anybody on the roster being off the floor that game with the illness. But you just got to continue to fight and bounce back. We got a heck of a stretch. The stretch we're on right now is about as hard as it's going to be all year.
Back with some final thoughts from the coach coming up next.
Walker will jump against Kalkbrenner to get this one underway. And we are underway in Omaha. Griesel a deep three, and Sam Griesel knocks it down. Deflected, taken away by Wilcher on the run out. C.J. Wilcher all by himself, flushes it home. Now to Vandemel, 7 to shoot. Reidenbach again, forced to take a deep three. This time it splashes. Walker on the floor, nice backdoor cut by Griesel, who finishes and one. They'll throw a home run pass down the floor to Wilcher. Wilcher looks for Gary. Gary with the exclamation point. A double-digit victory over 7th-ranked Creighton.
And those are our Hy-Vee sounds of the game. Huskers will continue league play with that Saturday game with Purdue, and then a week off. They got to take finals. So they're still student athletes, right, Coach?
Yeah,
give them that time.
Hey, listen, this is a really important time of year, especially with the stretch that we've had and the emotions, highs and lows that you have in this business. You have to make sure that you don't have any type of setback when it comes to the academics. And our kids have done a great job. They go into that academic center, work with the tutors every day, and still need to finish strong. But yeah, it's an important week.
All right, let's look at what's coming up. You still have some non-conference games to mix into this whole thing. One in Kansas City, an interesting matchup with K-State, who you played here last year.
Yeah, they're really good, and the addition of Keontae Johnson has been huge for them, and they got a couple really good transfers in there and some good returners. So that's a team that's playing very high-level basketball right now. And then Queens. Not a lot of people know about Queens, but they're 7-2. Had a big win first game of the year at Marshall, which is a tough place to play, and they've played some really high quality basketball. So last two non-conference games, important that we head into the break on a high note, and then you got another gauntlet for the rest of the 18 against Big Ten opponents.
How choppy is the practice schedule during a finals week for you?
Well, it's different now. I mean, back in the day, you had to really adjust it, but now a lot of them are online, and it's a different time and a different era than what it used to be, where sometimes you'd go at 7 in the morning, sometimes you go at 7 at night, just based on final schedules. We'll still have to adjust a little bit. Don't know exactly what it is right now, but yeah, it's a huge week for everybody. We're going to give our guys 2 days off. We'll take the day off after on Sunday, and then get another day off on Tuesday, and then have 3 days to prepare for that game against Kansas State.
Could you use some time in the gym with the guys, just in practice?
Yeah. I mean, again, this is a resilient group, Greg, and it's a tough group mentally, and that's very important for this time of year. And when you have short preps, when you play at Creighton and then you get 2 days and play Indiana and then you get 2 days and play Purdue, that's not a lot of time. So you have to have a mentally strong group, because that's what it's about. You need your guys to have fresh legs in the heat of the battle. So a lot of the preparation is film, walkthrough, and it's very mental. You look at Purdue, that game against Purdue, those guys in their first 15 possessions against Minnesota, they ran 14 different plays. So it's a really tough game plan on a short prep. But again, just the way our guys compete, how hard they play, they will give us a chance most nights.
All right, have a good week.
Thank you.
We're back to check out the action from the Purdue game next week. My thanks to the entire Husker Vision crew and to you for watching, inviting you to join us again here next week.